Greetings, Divine Nation. I am Minerva, your Aquariana Gateway Guide. Thank you for joining me today for lesson number 8. If you are new to this channel and work and you are here for the Aquariana Gateway Lessons for best results, please first watch the videos in the channel playlist entitled About the Aquariana Gateway Lessons for more information. Then, when you're sure you're ready, begin with Course 1, Lesson 1. As this program is designed to be taken in order for best results. Now, let's get started. I've spoken earlier of the Masters of Light and the inner planes of consciousness, but haven't given you any background explanation about them, so here's a little. There are Masters of Light representing positive vibration and Masters of Darkness, or the Lesser Masters, who represent negative vibration. The Masters of Light are the same as you and everyone else, except they have grown through the experiences of life and have advanced themselves to mastery. They are masters of their mind, body, and emotions, and they do not need to reincarnate back to this plane unless they wish to do so. And then it is only to head some special work for humanity that requires the wisdom of a master. They work through human channels to help the masses ascend to a higher state of consciousness and a higher rate of vibration. They are always drawing us up to them. The lesser masters are those who came up through the same tests and developments as the Masters of Light, and they attained a great development in the light, but missed their final tests, and instead of trying again and again until they could pass their tests, allowed themselves to listen to the voice of the ego and were drawn away from the light. Some of you might be aware that even Jesus was tempted and had to say, "Get thee behind me, Satan." But unlike Jesus, the lesser masters are those who listened to the negative voice, were tempted, and succumbed to temptation by prioritizing ego desires over spiritual connection. They used the great wisdom and power learned to further their own selfish ends. They work to confuse and destroy wherever they can in the world, overtly or covertly. The lesser masters have the one great mistaken idea and all-consuming urge to rule the world and all humanity. It was these same lesser masters that gave the rulers of Germany, Italy, and Japan the idea that they, through force, lies, and might, could indeed rule the world. We are all living with their confusion, selfishness, and lifeless priorities of profits above all at this time. We have to deal with their lies, distortions, and distractions regarding views towards sexuality and love, self-respect and healthy life choices versus consumerism, politics and government versus entertainment, consumerism versus sustainable environment and resource usage. The lesser masters, who do indeed rule the world at this moment, are very powerful and adept at their games and propaganda. They're very shrewd about how to manipulate the masses into acting against their own best interest and keeping them anesthetized with legal and illegal drugs, all of which affect the mind, mindless and often exploitive entertainment, and education that serves them by producing workers, yet does not teach the people who pay outrageous prices for this education how to think and question authority. Our colleges and universities have essentially become glorified vocational schools. Now, let's talk about the things that cause imbalance of vibration, and in doing so, either give us a seat at the higher masters or the lesser masters table. Focus your self-awareness attention here and learn to recognize these triggers wherever found. Let's start with selfishness. I place this at the head of the list for the reason that the negative forces use it most of all. Therefore, selfishness is the first and biggest thing to be corrected in ourselves if we are to stay on the positive path. If we are extreme in our selfishness, it will lead us directly to loneliness sooner or later. The law that governs this is the law of cause and effect. If we want to take and not give in return, then we are using the law in a one-sided manner, and the law will bring back to us our own karmic reward, which often manifests as taking away from us that which we prize most. Selfishness comes close to the heading, Selfishness comes close to heading the list in human weaknesses. When we can think only of our personal self and its wants and desires, then we're going against the first commandment by having an ego God before our spiritual God. It also blocks the application of the golden rule, to do unto others what we would have others do to us. Next, we move on to greed, grasping, and hoarding. All of these belong in the same family with selfishness and are of a materialistic nature and will contribute to the breeding of all kinds of flesh diseases and manifest as boils, sores, scaly scabs, ulcers, and various other skin disorders. Why? Because the effect of this retained energy is to close the pores of the skin in the same degree as the heart, hand, and pocket is closed against our fellow human being and natural environment. This is not to say that everyone who suffers from these maladies is a greedy, grasping hoarder, or that greedy, grasping hoarders all have these manifestations of their emotional disorder plainly evidenced on their skin. It means that our emotions can and do have an effect on our physical bodies, and that our physical bodies react to our emotions in kind. As regards greedy, grasping hoarders, the outward appearance is caused to show the inward repression of loving, charitable emotions and thoughts, as well as an imbalanced desire for personal, self-centered possessions. If the tendency to grasping and hoarding is for material possession and gold and money and diamonds and blah, 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 in other words, the lust for money, just for the love of hoarding it, it will centralize the cells in the brain and cause it to create cells of a crystallized mass. If it is a deep enough desire, it will cause an inward ferment in the colony of cells within the human organism, and a sublife will start to breed there. This sublife, this parasitic sublife, will generate cells of their own kind and soon build into the vital organs of the body like ants or spiders in a house. And this vampiric energy will feed upon the substance of the human organisms and its organs until a foreign community is set up within the city of your soul. Does this sound like a familiar disease of the modern world? Scientists have declared that cancer is an inward ferment. We really need to abstain from all feelings and thoughts that cause this inward ferment, such as feelings such as greed, jealousy, intense resentment against anyone you think wronged you, fear, and so on, in order to prevent the seeds of this dread disease from germinating in your system. And let's talk about fear. Fear is indeed the devil in action. It is one of our most destructive emotions. Our mind and body are affected alike by this emotion. Fear is capable of causing almost any disease in the body or mind, and when persisted in for a period of time, will attract that which is feared and cause it to manifest, for the reason that the laws of mind are being used, even if in a negative, destructive way. What you focus on, you will draw to you. Fear is the playground for the negative forces and one of the most valuable channels through which they can do their best work. A negative, destructive thought or suggestion placed in your conscious mind by you or by someone else who is already a conscious or unconscious tool for the negative force causes you to respond and react to it. As you think and react, unless you are strongly in the positive light or have been trained to discriminate and to react only to the positive, it will take root in the subconscious mind where it will grow, because through your thinking and fearing, you will give it the necessary power to eventually bring upon you what you feared. Fear can present itself to you in 1,000 different ways and forms. Being taught to fear other races, other religions, other groups of people, other ways of thinking about how society should be orchestrated and managed. It's all fear-based information, and it's evil. Fearful thoughts and suggestions accepted by your conscious mind and given to your subconscious, either by you or another, have been attracted to you from some point in the emotional side of your life, as it is itself an emotion. Little children are taught to be fearful of strangers, fearful of people who don't look like them or don't go to their kind of church or don't live in their kind of neighborhood. They're taught to be fearful, and it becomes a part of their subconscious mind, and as they grow up, it just deepens within them and ferments and also gets passed along to the next generation. It's a terrible thing to do to your own kind. If anyone studying these lessons is allowing the negative force to express through this channel, we strongly suggest and recommend that you check your vibrations and emotions and make the necessary corrections. Then proceed to build faith and courage into your consciousness, because these are the opposite of fear. If you've been fearful, then faith and courage must be built into your subconscious mind. This can be accomplished by giving the subconscious mind the right suggestions, which you get later on in these lessons. Then you will learn to think, speak, feel, and act with faith and courage in regard to every phase of your life, and you will overcome fear. And it is the overcoming of fear which will truly set you free. And with that, we end this lesson. Thank you for joining me today. Check back next week for lesson number 9. Remember to review this material throughout the coming week. It is important to review the information. Come back every week for new lessons in metaphysics and related occult studies. If you find this information helpful, click on the donation link in the description box or go to metaphysicsLessons.com and make a donation so we can continue to produce this content for worldwide distribution. It also helps to keep me focused on creating this type of content. If you would like a reading or consultation, please visit the metaphysicslessons.com website, click on the Divination Studio menu link, and select your interests from the drop-down menu. Just follow the directions from there, and after you make your purchase, we can schedule your phone consult, or you can submit your email questions. I can help you with love, work, career, family, spiritual, wellness concerns, and much more. Please, if you have not already done so, give this video a thumbs up, share it with those you believe would benefit from the Aquariana Gateway Lessons, subscribe to this channel, and set the bell alert so you don't miss any uploads. Your comments are really important to me, so feel free to leave them below. Blessings be upon you for your interest and attention. Wishing you love, light, peace, and prosperity. Minerva.